So as you remember from the first video, the market in its way, in its accumulation, will create some kind of lows, liquidate them once, twice, or 3 times, or it can do it even more. But usually when you have three liquidations, 4 liquidations, and back and forth from the standpoint of structure, so I would even better draw it something like this. So up, then down again, then some breaks, then down, and then some move to the upside. So this is more likely an accumulation in front of you. But then imagine what happens. You have some impulse, and now if you are focused on marking up these fancy charts with accumulations, distributions, and so on, and by the way, you can see a real life example of accumulation here, they will start to predict, okay, they will see that this is accumulation, this is an impulse. Now they will want to predict a distribution, and they will see it for sure, especially after some breaks to the downside. Now they see everything here and they say, okay, this is a distribution and we can go even lower. And they will lay out some emotional charts. Maybe some of you saw like hope, excitement, greed, overexcitement, now doubts, and now we will have fear and panic and so on. But what will happen is basically this. So this pattern is a pattern of reaccumulation, and it happens a lot in the trending markets. And again, don't forget that we are talking about fractal concepts. So you will have the same kind of thing on daily, on 4 hours, on 1 minute, and so on. And so if this is your zone and you are looking for some overall bullishness from a zone, this is what you can expect there. You can expect some accumulation, then a push up, then reaccumulation, and so on. So you don't, that's why we don't enter just on the basis of a tap, because we understand that most likely the market will perform some accumulation, and so multiple liquidations of lows, highs, and so on. That's why when you see a trend in market, you will not see this perfect schematics like on these charts for beginners, but most likely you will see liquidations to the other side. Yeah, so this one is redistribution. And again, why I told in the first video that it's kind of already implemented in the way we see structure, because when we see something like this, we are not bearish immediately. We understand that this is reaccumulation happening. So this is a really common pattern that we trade, or in the other way. And again, you see, you have these intermediate lows, you have a redistribution. You have push to the downside. This is nothing more than a redistribution. For weak side, this is a spring and they want to buy here. And so liquidity is building and continuation is more possible. And the market is just falling and falling and falling. So that's why it's really important to not fixate on the very fact of distribution and accumulation. To be honest, we don't even know what is happening. So at this point, it could be, so if we can see this price, at this point, it definitely could be an accumulation like here. That's why, but we don't know, we can't know. For example, if we see it as redistribution, we can just see it as one of possible scenarios and then confirm on lower time frames, confirm with context, and so on. But basically we can use it just as one of scenarios. But the weak side of the market, they try to predict everything. They try to be right in terms of direction and know their systems. And in this point, they will see it as a 100% accumulation. And now they will go all in and build just enormous amount of liquidity for the composite man to take out and profit from it. So yes, in the most basic form, reaccumulation and redistribution is just a form of how market moves in a trend. So starting from accumulation, it will create some impulses and then reaccumulations like you see here. So you have impulse, impulse, and reaccumulation into a zone and continuation higher. So that's why when you, for example, enter here, you have all the reasons to hold through these kinds of pullbacks and expect the market to continue. So every time you see a trend in market, first of all, expect reaccumulations, redistributions, and then think about other possible scenarios and find confirmation for the bullishness. Okay, so this was a quick introduction of reaccumulation, redistribution, and remember, in its core, it's looking like the pattern we described in the structural part, which is just taken out of some intermediate highs or lows and tap into deeper zones. And then, by the way, how do you think what will happen here? Here, in this seemingly V-shape turn, we will see same distribution on lower time frames in some form or another.